Well, hello there, my friends, and welcome to Park Church. It's your friendly neighborhood Pastor Darryl coming to you with the next rendition of our Ask the Pastor. As always, I'm so thrilled with these episodes, with these opportunities to share with you some questions and some answers. If you have a question, please send it in. You can send it into office@parkchurchgr.org. We will be happy to add it to our basket of questions here. And we're going to be making our way through these questions all the way into 2025 because you keep sending in some really wonderful questions for us to ponder. So let's draw the question without further ado, and let's see what today's question is. The question today is, it's 3 questions. What is your favorite part of the Christmas season? What is your favorite Christmas carol? And do you believe in the virgin birth of Jesus? Because I have always found that to be very unbelievable. So, thank you for the questions. The question again, what's my favorite part of the Christmas season? What's my favorite Christmas carol? And do I believe in the virgin birth of Jesus? Because the person who wrote this question struggles with that part of the doctrine of the statement of faith. My favorite part of the Christmas season, these are very timely questions. This is very timely to be getting this question. My favorite part of the Christmas season. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I get very melancholy during the Christmas season. I think there's lots of reasons why that is. I think the loss of my parents. I think the materialism of it. I'm very Charlie Brown when it comes to the Christmas season. I think a lot of us are. I don't think I'm alone in that. I think the stresses, the anxieties, the loss, the grief, just sometimes just accentuates in this time of season. So I find where I am most favorably engaged in the Christmas season is in giving back. It's through volunteering for our Palmer School Night of Giving, or it's through participating in Santa Claus Girls, or it's through taking an angel off the angel tree for kids who are in child protective services or foster care, or children of folks their parents are incarcerated. Finding ways to give back and to really get outside of myself and not participate in the materialism of the season, and to not dwell on the grief and the loss and the anxiety, and to think of others, I think is probably my favorite part of this time of year. There are more opportunities to give back and to get involved in people's lives in positive ways during the Christmas season than almost any other time of the year. And to do it very acutely, where you can feel the impact. And so I think that's one of my favorite parts of the Christmas season is the charity, the justice, the mercy part of the season. It brings me some peace, and I hope that it brings others a little bit of peace as well. What is my favorite Christmas carol? That's easy. My favorite I have 2 favorite Christmas carols. One's not really a carol. But on John Denver's Rocky Mountain Christmas, which was my dad's favorite Christmas album growing up, there's a song called The Cowboy Christmas. And it really is about being a cowboy out on the range during Christmas, and the wind being a carol that's being sung, and the stars being the lights on the tree. And it's a really beautiful song. It's also in a key that I can sing, because, my friends, I don't sing very well. And so I always love any song that's has a pedestrian key that I can sing in. In terms of kind of sacred music and traditional kind of church Christmas carol, my favorite Christmas carol is What Child Is This? And it's not just the words, though the words I think are beautiful. I think it's a beautifully written poem that has been set to music, and a beautifully written prayer that's been set to music. But again, I think I told you that I get kind of melancholy this time of year, and it's written in a minor key. And unlike Joy to the World, which is big, and Hark the Herald Angels Sing, which is big, and Angels We Have Heard on High, which is big and major, I tend to gravitate towards the minor key carols, and my favorite of those is What Child Is This? it sort of speaks to, again, that sort of melancholiness in me. And so I always look forward to singing "What Child Is This?" And I always love it when I see it in the bulletin on a Sunday morning during December. And then finally, the question was, do I believe in the virgin birth? Oh my goodness. This is such a sticking point for so many modern Christians, and I get it. It is fantastical, and it can be very, very hard to take that leap of faith that Mary conceived a child by the Holy Spirit. That's a far stretch for some folks, and I totally get it. You're asking me, do I personally believe in the doctrine, this doctrinal aspect of the sort of the classic Apostles' Creed or Nicene Creed? And when we think of belief as having to intellectually affirm a doctrine, I find it very, very hard to intellectually kind of condone the doctrine of the virgin birth. But if you think of belief as trust and belief as an opportunity to grow outside of ourselves and to connect our spirits with the Spirit of God, then are you telling me that God is doing something special through this child and through this woman, Mary, and that her birth, the birth of that child and the conception of that child was special in some sort of way, and that I can trust that the Holy Spirit was involved in the conception of that child? Then I don't have that big of a problem with the doctrine of the virgin birth, because it's really about me wrestling and struggling and going deeper into my own faith. And I don't find rejection of doctrine to be very conducive with my own faith journey. Instead, I like to wrestle with it, and I'm okay to say, like, I don't know. And so, but the idea that this birth was special, that this birth was in many ways a part of God's divine plan, and that the birth was very much surrounded by the power of the Holy Spirit, got no problem with that whatsoever. And so that's how I kind of lean into it. I can go into a lot of like history and how lots of special people in the ancient world were thought to have had special births, from Caesar to Pharaoh to Alexander the Great to Xerxes in Persia and stuff. But what makes this birth so special, I think, is that this baby grows up in the least ostentatious, least it was outside of the palace, outside of riches, outside of all of those things, and really is born into our world and our lives and our struggles, and that seems Holy Spirit ordained to me. So if you're telling me that is what it means by the virgin birth, again, I can trust in that, and I can wrestle with my own faith and come to have a better and deeper connection with God through that, instead of just rejecting it because intellectually that doesn't sound plausible to me. So hopefully that gives you a different way of thinking about belief. It's not an intellectual exercise. It's a faith exercise. And I encourage you to wrestle with it and not just reject it outright. So that maybe you can find some meaning in the virgin birth, even if it doesn't necessarily intellectually, scientifically make sense to you. So my friends, that's our question, our Ask the Pastor today. I so appreciate you sending it in. Again, if you have one, please send it in to us at office@parkchurchgr.org. We'll add it to the basket and answer it in the weeks to come. But until I see you again, may God bless you. May God keep you. Godspeed, everyone. Bye-bye.